Alright everybody, welcome to the Plastic Pimps Halloween special. And I know what you're thinking, how are we going to make a Halloween special out of our normal drive around our small town? And that's a very good question. For one thing, we have our special guest, Migo Nosferatu, with us. Probably one of the creepiest, scariest movie monsters of all time, and he's from a black and white silent film that's over 100 years old. There is Part City, Larson Auto Parts, which is now going to be our third auto parts store in town after the Advance Auto was built. And that is, of course, Teddy the Dinosaur. We don't know if that's his official name or if he even has one, but that's just what we call him. And so yeah, I guess we'll start out. We're going to make this video a little different because I'm going to be getting out doing some old-timer history again, talking about things that used to be in this town and whatnot. And I guess we'll start out by talking about some scary movies. So probably the scariest movie I can think of is The Exorcist. That was just a really creepy movie. Let's see, what else? Another scary movie. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was pretty scary. Kind of, I guess, like a slasher movie, even though I don't find slasher movies particularly scary. But that one's probably the best of the bunch. And the driver formerly known as James loves Michael Myers and Halloween movies. I don't really find those all that thrilling. In fact, my favorite one is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It's the only one I find really interesting because Michael Myers just is kind of boring. I mean, the first one scared me, but I was like 10 years old then. But probably another real scary movie was The Blair Witch Project. And I think that one was scary because it doesn't show you the monster. I had a nightmare the night I watched that. I was with a group of friends and we watched it, and I went to sleep. They were still up. There is some Halloween decorations. I don't know if you'll be seeing those or not. But yeah, I was with a group of friends. We watched that movie. And I fell asleep, had a nightmare in front of all my friends. I think that's just because they don't show you the monster in that movie, and that makes it scary. But so we're going to do our first stop on the historical tour here. And I'm going to get out of the car. I'm going to be getting out of the car a few times on this video to talk about things that are no longer here in town, that used to be. So yeah, let me go ahead and stop this video and I'll get out and give you my history spiel. And we'll continue from there. Okay, so in the early 90s, this was a little strip mall here right about where I'm standing, and it probably went out into the road because they widened this road. That 2 lanes of traffic wasn't there. Yeah, this was a little strip mall. It was built maybe in the mid-90s, and it had a, right where I'm pointing the camera, thereabouts would have been that little strip mall. And there was a Radio Shack, a Larry's Giant Subs, and there was a little pet store in there where I got my cat that I had for a long time. I walked in there and he pawed at me and like grabbed my shirt through the cage, so I was like, yep, I'm taking him home. Plus he looked just like my first cat, so I had to have him, and that was Tiger 2. And you know, just like that strip mall, he's now gone. But I need to see a mechanic. Yeah, right here was that little strip mall. Long gone, another victim of the expansion to 4 lanes of Highway 20. So I just thought that was an important historical thing that most people have probably forgotten, and we put it in this video. Alright, we're just continuing our drive here on this great Halloween special. And here we come back into Interlochen town. The video game Resident Evil I used to think was pretty scary. And I was so bummed when they made that movie that I didn't see it in the theater, but I bought it on DVD the day it came out. And very disappointed in that. So here is the auto zone, where they are still just clearing the land out. No construction has begun. And for our next stop on the historical tour, we're gonna pull in here to Advanced Auto Parts, and I'm going to give a few more historical facts of the town. And there is the ugly McDonald's. It used to look pretty cool, like an old school McDonald's, and now it's just a gray box. So I guess that's how they want it. All right, I'm gonna get out again here, and we're gonna just talk about a few things from back in the day. Right on that corner, over by the CVS, would have been Bluebell's Diner back in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, and I don't know how long it was there, and if it was always Bluebell's or it was something else. I only go as far back as the late 70s here, but that would have been Bluebell's Diner over there on the corner. And yet again, another victim of the expansion of Highway 20. That building was tore out. In the late 80s into the early 90s, the building that was Bluebell's Diner was Friar's Chicken. And then over about there, Friar's Chicken built a whole new building, and it too was a victim of the expansion of Highway 20 when it got torn down. And over here would have been the Handyway store, which I've talked about in other videos. And sadly, in the early 90s, there was a murder happened at that Handyway store, which would have been right there. The lady's name that was murdered was Sandy, and I can't remember her last name, and I can't find any articles, you know, online about it, but her name was Sandy, and she was killed while working there one night. This would have been like 91 or 92. And that night I was with my ex-girlfriend and her little sister hanging out, and we were going to come down here to get some snacks or whatever right at about the same time that went down. So we ended up not coming down here to get snacks that night, but I'm glad we didn't come down here that night. But yeah, that's a little bit of darker history in this town. All right, we're back on the road. We're gonna drive down to Lake Lagonda, and there's Lake Chipko right there, which used to have a public swimming access over there, but that's gone now. But yeah, one of the big questions that I get asked on these Interlochen videos from people is about alligators. And you know, people I guess think that because there's so many lakes in town that we're swimming with alligators, but that's not true. I've seen maybe a couple in my 40 plus years around this town, but yeah, that's not a big problem here. In fact, most of these lakes like Chipko that we just went by and Lagonda that we're going to used to be meticulously maintained by the city. You know, white sand beaches and, you know, all the weeds and stuff were usually cleaned out of the lakes, and there was always people in them, so there was never an alligator problem. So yeah, hope that clears that up for future videos. No gator problem. And gators are really, they're as scared of you as you are of them, I'm sure. They don't want nothing to do with you because you're too big really to eat. So as long as you leave them alone and do not molest them, you'll be okay, even if there was a gator there. So just making our way down to Lake Lagonda. And then I guess from Lake Lagonda we will drive down to the Rogues Gallery. I've yet to been able to, every time I've filmed the Rogues Gallery, which has been like twice now, it's been kind of blurry, so hopefully today we will get a clearer shot, because that is really neat Halloween decorations. There's our crane friends. Hello, cranes. I think those are neat. Love me some cranes. And in fact, they have started, I've shown in other videos, they have started clearing Lake Lagonda out again. They had let it go for a long time, and they started pulling some of the weeds and stuff out of here, cleaning it out. But you know, back in the 80s, this was all cleaned out, and it was all a white sand beach and everything else. They still got a lot of work to do if they're going to get it back to as it was in the 80s. All right, let's go check out the Rogues Gallery. And see if I can't get a good shot of it this time. I mean, it really is probably the neatest Halloween decorations I've seen, and it's, you know, all homemade. And you know, not that the stuff you get from Spirit and Home Depot and all that ain't cool, but there's something about people taking time, you know, to make homemade kind of decorations that's cool too. And I showed in previous videos that that's Nick's Market location right there. Nick's Market is also long gone. And here we go. We're gonna check out the Rogues Gallery and see if we can't get it right this time. There's Wolfhead Man. We got some new people out here yet. The aliens. That guy's creepy. There's Gatorhead Man now. Go Gator. Big baby. And there's our fan favorite, the Undead Hooker. And these people now have some more things out along with the It in the window. There is Jack Skellington. That is very cool. So those two houses anyway are feeling the Halloween spirit. And I think they had a couple of little things here. Yeah, just some pumpkins that they don't have blown up currently. And I guess now we're going to go down and do the Taco Bell update. Last year this blue house had a lot of decorations up, but I guess they ain't feeling it this year and didn't put anything up. Or they're going to do it closer to Halloween, I don't know. The house itself is like a Halloween decoration. And looks like we have an emergency vehicle coming. Alright, so we're just now going to go do the Taco Bell update. And see, I don't think they've made too much, not as glaringly obvious on their progress this time, because I think they got rained out a lot this past week, but we'll see. And there is the CVS. This right here, there's a big old pothole in that road. Somebody's gonna wreck their car bad there, and somebody's gonna get sued, I can assure you that. That's gonna do some damage to somebody's car that doesn't live around here and just pulls in here one night, doesn't know that's there, and wham. Alrighty, here is the grand finale, the Taco Bell update, as you like it. And let's see, they got some tractors out here, it looks like, or whatever you call those things. And it doesn't look like they've done too much since last week. Yeah, about the same. Not much has happened there, so. All right, everybody, we hope that you enjoyed our Halloween special, and maybe you can put this video to good use at go to sleep time. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll be back next Saturday with another drive around town. Peace out.